starting. I've started the local recording, and we'll just see what happens. I don't know. I'm going to reply my own tweet, see if we can get a few more friends in here. I'm going to get to Sazabi's question. Sazabi asked before the stream even started. We'll get to that. And hopefully we'll be able to actually have a conversation and talk while we build model kits. I'm going to get in a little bit closer. And let's go to the overhead here. Oops. Overhead is got this in the way. So we'll move that. And now that's in the way. So we'll move that. This is fun. This is fun and cool and fun. There. No, what? Why are you like this? There we go. Fun and cool and fun. So we're working, again, one more time as a reminder, working on the camper van, the Lego camper van. Look, I put in the title of the video, No Queen Talk. That's not for you. You came in here before I even started streaming. You've been hanging out. I appreciate you being here. That is for people that are coming to the stream during the stream, like at 10:15 p.m., let's say, that want to come in and want their first chat message to be, did you hear about the Queen? Because of fucking course I did. I'm on the goddamn internet. I did hear that. I was I was on a stream, or watching a stream and being a very good moderator. And the amount of people that wanted to just type that, like, forget the jokes that were bad and unnecessary because they were there and they were bad and unnecessary. Forget those. Just the amount of people that were like, hey, did you hear about this? It was like, yeah, we did. You don't need to do that. Just to, as a point of clarification for people, in general, in your lives, please understand, the streamer has heard about it. They might not even be talking about it because they don't care, or it has nothing to do with what they're doing, or it's not something that fits with their chat and the vibe or whatever. But whatever it is that happened in pop culture or the world news, just assume they do know about it. And maybe they already talked about it. It's always okay to ask questions like, hey, I don't know what game this is. Even if the streamer fucking has it on their, like, game thing, and that's the category they're in, and you can just look that shit up. It's still always okay to ask about games and be like, hey, what are we playing? Oh, what are we doing tonight? Like, I think that's totally fine. If someone comes in at 9:56 and is like, hey, what's this Lego set? I'll let them know that this is the Volkswagen camper van. This is an old set that was gifted by my friend Adam, who built it during the beginnings of lockdown, and then was like, hey, do you want this? And I said, yes. I think that's totally fine. But if you're like popping into chat to be like, hey, why aren't we obsessed with this thing that I know about but wasn't here 15 minutes ago for? Why aren't we talking about that thing? Is it because people don't know? The answer is they do know. And it's cool to not have to say it. Anyway, there's my rant that I have been thinking about off and on all fucking day about, like, I'm definitely going to bring this up on stream. Yes, there have been jokes. Hell, did I make a joke on Twitter? Of course I did. Yes, Sazabi, this is an old Lego set. Exactly. Yes, this is an old Lego set. It was old when my friend Adam got it. It is old now. It will be old when this project is done. You definitely know it's old because they just had a bunch of bags and the bags weren't numbered. That is an easy indication that this is an old Lego set, is that there weren't numbered bags. You just got all the Lego and you kind of have to just sort it yourself. I have been sorting like several steps ahead, and then just because it's too much Lego for my desk because there's over 1,300 pieces in the set. So I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to put all this out at once. So I've just been doing it in sections. To answer Sazabi's question before, which I forgot because things got weird, I'm going to bring up this image here. Okay. Browse. This PC, desktop. Here we go. This is a model kit that I was asked about by Sazabi, and I will talk about it very briefly here. My thoughts on the HG GM Spartan reveal. That's the the high grade GM Spartan. And my thought about that, Sazabi, is that it looks fucking cool as hell. This is a very cool model kit. I don't expect that it'll be something in my collection per se, but I do think that it looks very goddamn cool, and I would totally understand why anyone would pick it up, because it is a very vibrant green color. I love the eyes. The weapons look cool. Overall, that's a good looking high grade. So that's my thoughts of that. You also asked about a Hogwarts Express, and I have zero opinion on that. Just don't have any. I have no thoughts on it, so I cannot give you any further details on said thing. Okay, so what did I miss? Did I miss a step somewhere? I did. There should be a 1x2, red 1x2 here. I did miss this at some point, so I'll put that there now. Because I was like, this bridge is not bridging. So yeah, I did miss that at some point, but I've got that there now. And I missed this one. This was just like part of the steps here. I just missed these two parts. I missed a step, but I have corrected it. Thanks, Stream Elements, for fucking knowing what's up. Knowing that I'm live. My apologies for all of the weird technical issues that are beyond my control, and my apologies for technical issues that are my fault. I did do the update of OBS. I don't think that's to do with my internet not being perfect, but I did update OBS, which also led to my plugins not working, and on Tuesday, I got all my plugins except for my closed captioning. Yes. Yeah, who was streaming? It was also me. It was also me. It was me this whole time. I've been the streamer. All right, there we go. Did not want to connect as well as I would have liked it to. We gotta do this and this. Let's see. Things we can talk about here. Hey, I always recommend that if a website has or app has two-factor authentication, that you use that two-factor. I always recommend going with two-factor if available. I would especially recommend that with Patreon, who I am sure that it will be brought up within a response, but apparently has laid off their internal web security team. Most likely, they haven't laid off actually everyone. It's been exaggerated, but they at the very least have laid off several people from that team. One would assume that is not that they don't have any web security, or that they're probably going with third-party solutions by hiring some people to do it outside of it instead of having an internal team or whatever. But it's always a good reason. It's always a good opportunity to just, have a moment to be like, you know what? This seems like maybe it's bad, and while we're all at it, why don't I just fucking go for it and do two-factor on Patreon, which I have been doing, and I'm glad I've been doing. Because otherwise you're just running a lot of risks. I did miss this. Where was a step where that was 3? There was a step where that had to be 3. Oh, that's on this step. This step I just missed. This step I missed like 3 things that I was supposed to do like twice, which is very fun. Very fun and cool. Get those many years ago, but couldn't because my brother decided to steal my grandparents' credit card and buy a ton of video games. Yep. Sometimes family is a blessing, and sometimes it is a curse. Sometimes you're just trying to do cool shit, and it's family that gets in the way. Speaking of family, today I had the fun task of getting Amazon Prime working on my parents' television. They do not have a Fire Stick or a Roku or an Apple TV. Should we get one of those? Yes, we should, but we don't have one of those. I have a Chromecast, which does not help them for this particular thing. But they have a TV that years ago I was the one that went and did the download the firmware and upgrade that. Have not updated that firmware since. I regretted that because we want to get Prime working on the TV. Now, why do we need Prime working on the TV? Well, the simple explanation is that, let's just make sure I've got that. Okay, great. Simple explanation of that is that my folks, I probably actually returned my work Chromecast. Yeah, Lashbrook, you probably should. The reason why they need it to work is because there will be 2 football games this season. Football season started tonight. There will be 2 games this season that will, Thursday night games, that will exclusively be on Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime has several Thursday games. They don't have all of them, but they usually just have them along with other people. But there's 2 games this season, and one of those games is a Jets game. My dad's a Jets fan. And the other game is a Patriots game, and my mom is a Patriots fan. So, even though that's months and months from now, gotta make sure that this TV can have Prime on it so they can watch on their big TV, all of that, their big Samsung. So, the TV, I had to plug it into the network because it was not on the network. I did not have an Ethernet cable plugged in there. I was using that Ethernet cable for something else. So, plug the TV in because the router is right there. No problems at all. Plug that in. We're good. Update the TV. And then the update doesn't take. So I have to figure out what the TV is, go on my computer, find the firmware, put the firmware on a USB, bring the USB out, side load it from there, update the firmware because it was too much. Apparently, that happens with this TV where, let's see it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then, a long red one. Great. Apparently, with this TV, particularly this TV, the issue that you run into is that if you go too long without updating it, it doesn't want to update, and you have to side load it through the web. So I do that. Get that going. Then I got to update the Smart Hub. That's where all the apps are because it hasn't been updated in a long time. So you got to update all that. Then I update that. That's fine. No problem. Then I got to update Amazon Prime. Got to update that app. Get that done. That is done. Ready to go. Okay. So then it's gonna go here. That. Okay. And then this goes like that. All right. So I update that. That's ready to go. That's looking good. Then I gotta link the TV with my Amazon Prime account. I do that. That's not a big deal. Done that before. No problem at all. And it works. It took all of that and it works. And then in October, they can watch that game and it will be fine. Actually, I did this wrong. I believe sometime before that, we are just on a Thursday, we are just going to get it loaded to test to make sure that my folks can figure out how to do it because they're going to have to learn how to use the manual and all that. The side note, hey, well, this actually worked out great is my dad watched 2 episodes from the latest season, the new Prime exclusive season of Kids in the Hall, which he is a fan of, so that was nice. He was able to do that. And the big thing is that it's just really slow, friends. It's just very slow. Now, should I get a Fire Stick or a Roku? Yes. Would that be faster and easier? 100%. Have I done that? No, I haven't. It is just a thing that I am going to have to deal with in the future. I need 3 of those actually. Sorry, I missed one here. But yeah, it worked out fine. I would say the moral of the story is if you are visiting your folks, just update their TVs. Just go in and update their TVs. Turn off the motion smoothing. Update their TVs for them. Make sure they got the new latest apps and all that because at some point they'll want it and they won't understand why it's taking so long for their television to update. Or maybe your folks are much more technology focused than mine are. in which case, enjoy. My parents are doing, they're jointly doing a fantasy football league this year, which is a nightmare, and I wish they weren't doing that because my dad does not go on the computer, so my mom has to do all of the fantasy footballing for him, and that just causes arguments, and it's not worth it at all. And I had said, this does not sound like a thing that you all like, but I was overruled, which is fine. My TV thankfully doesn't know what the internet is. Yeah, I mean, like, my TV is up to date and doing fine because it's in my room, and that's where the Chromecast is. And that, literally, I have a very nice large TV, and its only job is for me to watch YouTube videos before I go to sleep. Because it is not in a position where I can watch it from my desk, and I already have 3 goddamn monitors, so I just dedicate a monitor to video anyway. And then I have the TV for just cooling down and enjoying things. And then eventually I will probably... I mean, like, I could do like an HDMI splitter or switcher and then make it so that was like a monitor instead of one of my monitors that runs HDMI. I could do that, but I don't actually expect I will ever do that. I wish that casting through Chrome in Discord could let you also see chat. Because that would be... Because if I could, like, put... Because sometimes I'm watching stuff with people in a Discord, and I would love to have the image up, but you can cast Discord, the web version of Discord, not the desktop, the web version. You can cast that through Chrome, but you can't make the... It's annoying. I want it to be full screen on my TV and then also chat. The solution is to do it and then have my phone out and then just be typing on my phone, but that's not really a solution. Oh, or maybe I guess maybe I could have Discord open in 2 places, desktop and the web. I guess that actually is the solution now that I'm saying it out loud. None of it's the solution. It's all bad. But those are options, I guess. Fantasy football famously brings people together, indeed. Oh yeah, I mean, like, Lego is a thing that, in general, if you see a Lego set that you would like, you have to get it. You just have to get it. Especially Lego Ideas. Lego Ideas you just have to get as soon as they're pitched because they will be retired, and then the aftermarket will just be rotten. The markup will just be phenomenally high. So yeah, if there's ever a Lego set that you're like, ooh, that looks neat, like now, in this year, you should just get it. Obviously, don't spend money you don't have, but if you got the money, you should go for it. That's my general rule on that. Let's see, we talked about Patreon and how you should be, just in general, you should 2-factor. Just like in general, I recommend it, highly recommend doing the 2-factor thing if available, because it's just going to save you in the end. All right, let's see. What else do we need here? We're doing some big steps here. Working on this car here. Got to get a long... We got that. Okay, so have that. Need 2 of these. Again, so I have my bags with all of these parts knolled in them, and then I just took out... I went through, like, the steps on my own time and got a lot of them on there. Eventually, we'll be down to the point where I can just take these Ziploc bags and just put them directly on the table, but I don't have enough room for 1,300 pieces all at once, so I have to do it in sections, which is the best solution I could come up with, and seems to work out pretty okay. All right, so we need that. All right, now we're just going to double check. Did we get everything on the list here? Yes, I think we did. All right, we'll find out if we didn't. Oh, in general, not via text. Yes, Lashbrook. If 2-factor authentication is only text-based, go with that. But if you have Google Authenticator or if you have Authy, those are both very good. Yes, you should do that. And save the text-based because your phone can be compromised. So again, if you have to, if it's the only option is text-based authentic two-factor, do that. But if you have the option to do something else, would recommend that. See, and then this goes like this. Okay. And I guess let's talk a little bit. So I talked on Monday about wrestling. We talked about wrestling and the wonderful, weird world of it. The fallout of the CM Punk press conference is that a lot of people are suspended right now, pending an investigation, which is good. We like that. We like the investigations and figuring shit out. The AEW World Title and the Trios title, which were just new champions, were literally crowned on Sunday, the first ever champions, I should say. Those have both been upended, and there will be a new champions. Trios champions were decided last night, and the world title is there's a tournament happening to declare the next champion, which is good. I think both those things are good, and I am looking forward to seeing what happens there. I would not mind Jon Moxley being champion again, even though he just was champion. I think Daniel Bryan being champion makes a lot of sense. Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin are in it, and they're wrestling this Friday. That could be interesting if one of them won. Hangman lost, and so that would be somebody. Basically, I don't want it to be Chris Jericho. I just don't want it to be Chris Jericho. He could be in the finals. It could be Jericho versus somebody, and that's fine. I just don't want him to be the one that wins, because I think that would be bad. Mox's promo last night was real good. Yes. Jon Mox's promo was very good. The fact Punk's title reigns are like under a week total, yes, because he just got hurt, and then he also got hurt and got into a physical altercation of some kind with the executive vice presidents of the company. Mox versus Bryan would be interesting. I certainly think that would be cool. I like the people in the tournament. I like that they're TNT champions also count for something, and the fact that it's like, oh, it's champion stuff. Now, what I want, even though he hasn't been champion anywhere except for because Eddie Kingston has been a world champion in a company that occasionally gets referenced, but not really that much. But he was the first ever Chikara grand champion. So he has been a champion. Now, do I think that necessarily makes sense in this particular tournament? No, I don't. But has he been a champion? Yes. And I do hope that we hear from Eddie Kingston, mad that he wasn't involved in this one. I do think that MJF challenging Jon Moxley makes a lot of sense. I think MJF challenging Daniel Bryan makes a lot of sense. But we do know that at some point he will challenge whoever is the champion, because he has that chip that he can cash in. And he will do that. And I think he will win, and he should win. And then in my fan booking, it's he wins, he uses. Yes, they're counting Bryan's championships, they're counting Mox's championships elsewhere, Jericho's championships elsewhere. They're basically like, if you've held a WWE title, they're mentioning that they're that. That's why I said technically you could argue that Eddie Kingston has been a world champion, just in an independent company that they don't necessarily always reference, but that a good portion of their top talent has worked in, at least for a weekend, if not trained there or taught there. So they could mention Eddie Kingston's one world championship if they wanted to. Which, who knows if they ever want to. But basically, I do want it to be Eddie, who eventually is forced to save AEW from MJF. Do I think that's necessarily going to happen? No. Do I actually... Lashbrook, they called Jericho a 7-time world champion, I believe. Which obviously he is not in AEW. Um, I believe they did that for Moxley as well. I think they did that for the world champ guys. Well, because Brian hasn't held a belt in AEW, so they need to say that. And then the young guys, they were like, oh, they've been, because Hangman was just world and tag, and then Darby and Sammy, they were like longest reigning TNT champion or like 2-time TNT champion. So they did do that for everybody. But yeah, in my head canon, it's Eddie Kingston who saves the day. I don't actually think that's going to happen, but I would love it because I love Eddie, and I do think at some point they got to pull the trigger on Eddie Kingston being a big hero. Because he will go heel again at some point because he does well in that role. But we'll see. I mean, I wanted Mox versus Kingston. I wanted that, but I don't think we're getting that. I mean, old sets are never... I mean, look, there are probably some old sets that are cheap because they've existed for a long time, and they made so many of them, but you should never think that anything old from Lego is ever going to be cheap. A lot of these, like this kit, I would say there are some parts you're not going to find on websites, but I would say you probably could source almost every part of this kit from just partless and build it yourself, and that would probably actually be cheaper. You're probably not going to find this big glass, but you could find, or this sink piece. I don't think you're going to find this sink piece on those sites where you can just build the kit yourself, basically. But most of these parts are universal pieces that you could find just about anywhere. Not all of them, but most of them. So you could probably build this with instructions online, just getting all of the parts and using one of those sites to fulfill your list. Again, I don't quote me on that, but maybe you can't find these in red, but I'm sure you can find these out there and kind of just build it yourself if you want to. Let's see. 1, 2, 4. All right, got 4 of this. Other things from the world of wrestling. Look, do I love the idea that Pac, of all people, is the first ever AEW champion with 2 belts at the same time? I do love that for Pac. Death Triangle winning the trios belts feels like something that should have happened at some point. Love that for Pac, that he is the All-Atlantic champion and also one of the trios champions. Love that for him. Do I want them to fucking put a belt on Orange Cassidy? Yes. And probably more so, I want Orange Cassidy to have a belt. Now, if he takes the All-Atlantic title off of Pac, I think that's fantastic. Put a belt on him. Chuck Taylor having a belt, would love that. Maybe they want to do that in the tag division someday, have best friends win the tag belts. I don't know. The trio, the guys that have been trios together more than just about anyone in that company, them not having the belts feels bad. Feels bad, man. I understand it, but that doesn't mean that I like it. So it would be really nice if Orange Cassidy could win a belt. And Pac doesn't need 2 belts. There's so many people in that company. You don't have to give Pac 2 belts. This was a necessity. They had to pull the trigger on it. They have a blessing disguise with Dark Order not being in that match. Dark Order should have been in the match because they lost the opportunity to win the belts on Sunday, so they should theoretically have been in this. But in storyline, 10 is injured, and then in reality, Reynolds is injured. Unfortunately, Alex Reynolds did get injured at that show, but it's a sprain, so he'll be back hopefully fairly soon. But it was like, it makes sense. And Hangman was in that, but that doesn't necessarily mean he couldn't do it. Theoretically, he could have done it. But they're like, oh no, 10 is injured. And then you're like, well, Uno's there. They should have just been in it. And like, nope, no, they needed 10, which doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Uno was injured because he got hit with a crutch. Days before that, show. He got hit with a crutch. It was unfortunate. Yeah. But yeah, I wanted to see. I mean, I want Dark Order to have something. I feel like at some point, John Reynolds or John Silver, they give John Silver a push at some point. But I would love that trio to do something together, because I think it would be fantastic. I do appreciate that John Silver got to say to Jose, the assistant, "Your last name is the assistant." I think that is just fun. Yes, Zombie. I mean, obviously that won't sell, but old Lego still goes for a lot of money. So, yeah. The thing is, obviously, those high prices are ridiculous outliers and not real, but it's still a fact that you can get, you can sell old Lego sets for way more than you got them. They appreciate in value significantly. That is still no joke. Even if what some people think they're worth is certainly not what they actually are worth, they're still worth a lot of money. To people that want to recapture their youth or fill in their collections that they never had in the past, or they're just like a younger person with disposable income who decides that Lego is the thing that they are going to buy with their money. Whatever people want to do. Yeah. And also it depends on how much, how rare a set is, how rare it was in the beginning when it first came out, how, beloved the set is, and how much people want to go out there and collect it, a lot of that stuff. If there's a new set that references the set in the past, sometimes people are gung-ho about picking that up because they want to relive something or whatever. That can... You never know. Something could have just sold very well on, like, Amazon or eBay once, and then that becomes the new standard. All right, so this goes like this. Yeah. Okay, so this is like we're setting up some stuff here. Some seating and some sleeping arrangements for this thing. Okay, this is making sense. Yes, my apologies for people that are seeing ads. I bet turning pre-roll off eventually probably fucked with people because I kept getting disconnected and reconnecting. And my apologies to people that are seeing ads. Thank you to whoever renewed their subscription. We didn't get a notification. If you want to hit that notification button, you can. But somebody did renew their sub. And I will update there because we're now currently at 33 out of 40 subscribers. The goal is to hit 40. If you want to become a subscriber, want to gift a sub to somebody in the community, anything like that, we would love to get back up to 40. But if we don't, that's also okay because it happens. Don't have to be tonight, but that is the goal. Lastbrook just subscribed with Prime. That's 58 months. Okay. Well, that message would have made a lot more sense here. 58 months, thank you so much. That was Lastbrook renewing. Let's hit the old applause there. Throw in the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote to thank Lastbrook. Yeah, Lastbrook, sometimes that does happen where you just... It's supposed to renew that day, but it doesn't give you a notification to renew, and it treats you like you're not a subscriber. As soon as Jeff started streaming, Jeff Gersman, I became a mod there for him, which I'm happy to do. Somebody had gifted me 3 months because it's been 3 months of Jeff doing this, if you can believe that. That subscription finally ended, and I'm not subscribed to Jeff's channel because I back him on Patreon because I feel like that's a good place to support Jeff is through Patreon because I still want to support him even though I'm a mod. But because nobody has gifted me a subscription, I got ads today, and that felt weird to get ads during Jeff's stream. It does feel odd. Like, I understand why a moderator gets ads because you could just make everybody a moderator. But I do think I shouldn't see ads if I'm modding his channel because then there's this time where he's talking and I don't know what he's saying. And I think that's weird, but whatever. Not the end of the world. Gotta have the mods clock in. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, thanks to the person that gave me that subscription before, because that was neat to have that, and the 3 months was cool. It's also, as I said, hey folks, I should say this again. I'll say it later. It's September. So if you've ever been on the fence about subscribing, now's the best time to do it. Or if you want to renew a subscription, get in on it, because you save money. And I want you to save money. I always want you to save money, my friends. So, get to it if you want to. Again, don't have to. We are working on some kind of cabinet. Oh, a wall. Working on a wall here. This is fun because I'm just like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what we're building here. I mean, it's all part of this camper, but I didn't look super far ahead on what's, I just know what pieces we need. I don't know what they do. Oops. So that's fun. Let's see. We'll take a pause for the calls in a little bit. Talk ways you can support the channel. I will say I am going to, for the month of September, be doing Tuesday streams, which we started this week, which was fun. We didn't have a huge crowd on Tuesday, but that's okay because we haven't had huge crowds on Wednesdays in a while, so that was all right. I liked it. I think doing a bonus stream the day after I do a build stream is better. Doing a Monday, Tuesday back to back, that felt better than doing a Wednesday, Thursday. So also, it was just nice watching AEW last night with the Discord that I'm in and talking to those people and not having to be like, okay, and bye everybody, and then going streaming. I like that. That was nice. It was nice to be able to talk to people in that and have my whole Wednesday. Felt weird though. I will say that. It always feels weird when I am not streaming when I am supposed to be streaming. In my head, when I am, like, oh, this is the day I stream. When that doesn't happen, it feels weird. It will probably never not feel weird when I'm doing something that isn't what I'm supposed to be doing or whatever, quote unquote. That also included that Saturday where I was, where I done like the earlier stream but didn't stream at night. That Saturday night felt very weird when I went to go see some comedy shows in New York, but I wasn't streaming. Felt very strange because I get in a rhythm, and I as you might know this. I don't know if you know this or not, folks. I do like streaming a lot. It is fun. I could be building Lego on my own time and building model kits on my own time, certainly. But it's fun to chat with all of you to talk about the anime and video games and wrestling and all kinds of stuff and see what you're up to and into. All that stuff is very fun for me. I enjoy it very much. It's also great to talk to people because there was a part of the year 2000, especially in the beginning of 2000, before during the pandemic, but before I moved, there would be days where the only people I talked out loud to were chat. Before I started doing like Zoom hangouts where everyone was just kind of working and occasionally would just like say words, just so that people felt a little more normal. I didn't have all of that. So it was nice to have something like streaming that was very beneficial to my mental health to have an outlet. And even these days where I can talk to people and I can communicate with folks more readily. And I do have more work that I'm doing during the day. It is just still incredibly nice to be able to pop into a stream and just see what people, pop a stream on and see what people are into. And chat about stuff and, see what's going on with people and all that. That is still very nice, and I am grateful that I have this opportunity. Okay, so this swings out. That's kind of fun. So this can swing outside so that you can use these shelves outside of the vehicle. That's cool. I like that. And then swing shut here to be part of the normal whatever. That's neat. And I guess it does technically swing this way, although probably not supposed to. Or, not necessary. But you can tell this is the kitchen area because of the tile in the camper. All right, let's move on to the next step here. We will take a pause for the calls in a couple of minutes. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel and all that, and then we'll get into more building and all that. Talk about some anime that I'm watching and some video games that people have been playing and all of that. And let's get a 1x3 and a red one here. So yeah, the Tuesdays are going to stay. It looks like next Tuesday I will be checking out a game that came out in May that I just never played and forgot existed and then was recently reminded about. And that is Capybara Spa. That is a chill a sim game about owning or running a spa for capybaras. And that sounds delightful. I picked that up. A friend of mine was streaming that the other day, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, that game exists. I had forgotten all about that game." So that won my Patreon poll, my $3, $5, $10 pictures. Now, is it possible that more patrons will vote? The numbers will change, and instead they'll be like, "No, play more Arcade Paradise," or "No, Pat, play more of what I played this past Tuesday, 2 days ago. Play more I Was a Teenage Exocolonist." It's totally possible one of those might win, and if they do, I will certainly play that. But right now, Capybara Spa is winning, so I have to imagine that that's gonna pull things off. Because it does sound like a very fun, chill game, and I am looking forward to a fun, chill game that doesn't fucking murder a supporting character who seems adorable and great. Looking at you, I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Really fucking put a damper on that goddamn stream. So many goddamn messages. Really did just like didn't kill the vibe, but it did put a damper on the fun of that game. Like it was already like weird, and then it was just like, hey, you know this game that's weird? Also, it could be sad. Enjoy. I might just keep playing that. Like Arcade Paradise, I have not continued where I left off. I was not moved to want to continue it. I know that people had a lot of fun with it. I did enjoy Arcade Paradise, but like not enough to keep playing. But I felt like I'll pick it up on stream if I ever play it again. It's good to have that available. But I did. I might just keep playing I Was a Teenage Exocolonist and then just like pick up, like if I end up streaming it again, just be like, hey, this is where I am and this save, and not pick up where we started or whatever. I don't know. I might do that. I don't know. Haven't decided yet with that game. But yeah, Arcade Paradise I haven't picked up since I streamed it. I enjoyed it. Just not enough to want to do it in my own time. We'll just check this out here. Let's go real quick. Just between that. And okay. Now it's the part of the stream where I talk to you about ways you can support the channel. Everything I'm going to mention here is optional. None of these are things you have to do. These are things you could do if you were so inclined to do them. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote. If you're a tier 2, you get the blue emote there. Let the people know that subscribing is a cool way to not see ads and also support me financially. But mostly not see ads and get cool emotes. So if you want to do that, you could do that. What was I going to say? If you haven't been a subscriber, you've been in the past, you're not currently a subscriber, now's a great time to get on board because as you may have noticed, it's September and you can save money by getting on board and getting into it. And the more months you purchase at once, the more money that you save, which is neat. You could also gift a sub. We have Mjon and Aristofan is our gift sub leaderboard. One gift sub will get you on the leaderboard joining Mjon and Aristofan. And as I said, I'm currently at 33 subscribers. The goal is to hit 40. 40 means that I know I'm getting a payout that month, and that payout goes to help me buy model kits and all that. I'll talk about that a little bit more. But so that is always the goal. Also, bits and coins, always appreciate it. If you want to do that, you can just do that. Drop a couple bits in there. We do appreciate that here. This is not the only way to support what I do here, because you could also hop over to my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. And if you're new to the stream, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, and then we'll get back to building. But I do like to go through my spiel here. This is my ad break, where I just talk about ways you can support the channel. But yeah, this is an easy way to support what I do here is through my Patreon, $1, $3, $5, and $10 tiers. Different rewards for the different tiers. If you're watching this later after the fact on Twitch VOD, hello, welcome. If you're watching this later on YouTube, you can find all this in the show description, all these links. But yeah, I got a Patreon. Do two-factor authentication over there, but also support me if you're interested. Let's see. I have a YouTube channel, as mentioned, youtube.com/PatBear. Follow me there, subscribe for free. But if you're interested in maybe supporting me financially, that's an option you could do. You pay $2 a month to join, become a member, and then you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I send out a message to my $2 supporters on YouTube, the members, and they get my Wednesday video. So that might be something that appeals to you. Take a look there. YouTube, blah, blah, blah. We did that. Direct donations, because maybe monthly, those are monthly ways to support me. Maybe you're just like, Pat, I don't want to do that. Well, why not jump in on the monthly subscription? You could do that or instead of the monthly, a one-time coffee, stream elements, or PayPal, and you can send some money there. Everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which also includes AdSense to watch my videos and watch the ads there. That I get money for that. Through Patreon and through Twitch, all of that goes into a fund, and I buy model kits with that. I've got a nice little backlog of kits. I've got a few more premium kits coming this month. I believe I've got a few things coming, which will be nice. Let's see, do I have anything coming in September? The Gundam Marine type, the Gundiver high grade is coming this month, so that'll be cool to build. Also, this Lego set that I'm currently building was sent by my friend Adam, and I am treating it like it was purchased off a wish list because it was sent by a friend, and I didn't pay for it. So if you want to jump the queue and have me build something particular before it is in my something, for my backlog, and let me jump the backlog queue and build that thing, you can buy something from my Amazon wish list, which I just included the link there. There's Lego sets, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits, kits that are on sale all the time, kits that have Amazon Prime shipping, kits that just have free shipping, but it's not the same kind of Prime. Inexpensive stuff that has dropped in price a little bit, stuff that is just like, why is that kit $49? I don't know, but it is. But if you want to get the TR1 Hazel too and spend $49, you could, and I won't say no. And there's some gear at the bottom because it's always nice to have gear. Like if you want me to sit on a comfortable chair, you could buy a comfortable chair that I will sit on. If you want me to have a better stream deck with more buttons, I can have a better stream deck with more buttons. Or if you want me to install an on-air button somewhere in the back wall, there a big on-air sign that I have to turn on every time I go on air. I mean, you could also do that. That's a silly one. That's a silly one, but I figured, hey, maybe somebody really wants to see that on stream. Let's see. Alternative to that, because some people don't want to do Amazon at all, which I understand, is I have a Throne wish list. This is a more curated wish list, but check out Throne. And I also have a wish list. I don't have a wish list on USA Gundam Store, but you can go to USA Gundam Store. You can enter your information there and purchase a gift card, and then send me a DM on Twitter because my DMs are open with that gift card code, and I will use that gift card code, and I will purchase a model kit from USA Gundam Store. And those are all the ways to support me with money. You could also support me if you wanted to get a red light like GB East needed when they were streaming because they could yell a lot. Yes, to let people know that they were live. I have a Discord. Join my Discord. It's a nice little place. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. It's nice. Get in that Discord. A couple video links for you to check out. There will be a new Pat Bear's Anime Club on Monday. The current Pat Bear's Anime Club is me talking about why isn't there any, why are the gay anime characters one particular type of gay gentleman? Why are they so skinny? with very feminine features. Why are they pretty boys? Where are the big boys? Where's the Bara anime? There's Bara manga. Where's the Bara anime? I try to answer that question with the general knowledge that I have and after doing some research as well. And then Do You Remembaer? This Do You Remembaer was requested by Harold Price. Thank you, Harold, aka H-Bomb and Friends. Thank you for requesting this. I hastily read the Wikipedia page for the Traveling Wilburys and did my best to remember everything I could about that band, including the thing that actually tied all 5 of them together. Besides being musicians, a mix of American and British musicians, the thing that actually tied those band members together was their shared love of Monty Python. Apparently, Roy Orbison had a lot of their sketches memorized and would just do them verbatim, and that's fucking weird and great. I did not imagine that Roy Orbison would be a big Monty Python fan. That's very fun to just think about. So watch that video if you haven't, because I think it's pretty good. All right, I am going to drink some water, and then we're going to talk about some anime while I get back to building Lego. So we'll do that right quick. Gonna hit that. Okay. Before we do that, I'm going to dramatically transition back to the overhead right now. Water. And I'm going to move my mouse so it's not in the shot. Water. It's pretty okay. Anyway, let's get back to building and also talk about anime. I am now finally caught up with my Isekai life. I gained a 2nd character class and became the strongest sage in the world. You may remember that is a show that debuted episode 1 and 2 at the same time, and I have been behind on that series ever since. I've always been a week behind. I am now caught up because I watched it today, because Thursday night is my catch-up night, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is my catch-up, or it is... next week, it'll be me watching stuff that I haven't checked out, like Lyrius Recoil. I'm going to try that show out. I don't know what other shows I will be trying out. That's one of them. I might talk about Overlord, which I have been watching on occasion. I am still behind on that, but I have not been watching that weekly because it is Overlord 4 is an obligation. I feel obligated to continue watching that series because I've been watching it for years, and I really enjoyed the first season and kind of enjoyed the second season, and third season not really, and this one not really. But I've been watching it for so long that it feels like I should be aware of what's going on in that show, which is not a great feeling, but that is the feeling. Before I talk about my Isekai life, I gained a 2nd character class and became the strongest sage in the world. Let's talk about Doomsday With My Dog, which is, there is only 2 episodes for me to talk about, 19 and 20. They took a break on some of these episodes because they put out, like, several every couple days. But apparently they took a short break on it, which is fine. They need to do what they need to do. If you're unfamiliar with Doomsday With My Dog, it is a series about, it is a comedy about the post-apocalypse where there is one human left, a young Japanese girl, so I believe she's in college, or was in college, is the last human left. And her dog is a Shiba Inu named Haru, who is doing his best to make sure that his master is mentally okay. Also, they can talk to one another, and that's not something that happened post-apocalyptic event, which was an unknown event. They've always been able to talk to one another, which is weird and unexplained. But there's, like, sentient animals that can communicate. There are spirits and a mermaid at one point, and just, like, all kinds of supernatural shit, which is just, like, totally okay and cool. It's a comedy. It's done in graphic novel, like motion comic style. where it's just a still image with maybe a little expressions that move, and then the text pops in like it would be in a manga, which makes it very easy to subtitle. And the episodes are like 2 minutes, and they are just quick gags, which I like. I like the vibe of that. It's fun. These two episodes, the highlights of these two episodes, episodes 19 and 20. Let's see, we got to put 2 on there. All right, so we got to put 2 on there. And then we need a corner piece. 1. Okay, let's see. 19 to 20, we met another Shiba Inu. There have been plenty of dogs out there. This dog seemed not smart, and we see that dog later, which is fun. This not particularly smart dog. Haru misses his master when the master is gone for like a couple minutes, which is very dog-like, and I appreciate. The master forgot that it was their anniversary of when they first met, because in the master's words, it's hard to remember because there aren't calendars anymore. But the dog was very sad to find out that their master did not remember their anniversary, which I thought was cute. Haru concludes that his master, wasted her time going to school because of the apocalypse. Didn't need to go to school that whole time because she's the only human left, which is pretty fun. And there's more about other dogs, and there's a whole thing with Haru, like master wanting to bathe her, and that being like the only time that Haru does not like his master. It's fun. It's a silly, weird little series. I recommend it. It's on High Dive. Both these shows are on High Dive. Am I justifying my subscription to High Dive by talking about these shows? Not really. I think it's a good service for, whatever, $5. I do genuinely believe that there are enough good series there. Even if I'm not watching, because there are a bunch of series on there I'm not watching. I'm still watching. Well, let me look here. How many shows am I watching on High Dive right now? I'm only watching 2 shows on High Dive because there were 2 other shows that I dropped. But that's still, to me, worth it for $5 a month. Especially since my Isekai Life is one of my favorite series this season. So to me, that feels totally warranted. Those 2. Because, I think they're solid. All right, I need some red pieces in this. Gotta get this cabinet in. We gotta get this nice cabinet done here before we can move on. Okay, and let's talk about my Isekai life. I gained a second character class and became the strongest sage in the world. Yuji is here to rescue the priest Stell. We learned last episode that the priest originally created the blue moon as a way to honor adventurers, but then that was taken over by a cult, by his assistant named Walter. That's right, the big bad of this show is a character named Walter, which I still find very funny. But anyway, Walter corrupted the group into a full-fledged cult because their belief is the actual best way to honor humanity is to destroy humanity, because that's the best way. Yeah. So, sure, okay. But Walter is basically just like, yeah, I know I can't beat you. You're the sage. Like, I get that. There's no way I can defeat you. But if I go into this machine, I can infuse my body with dragon grace, which is like basically the monsters have been going wild in areas, and that is this thing that they're calling grace, which it definitely does not feel like grace. But anyway, that's the term that gets used. We'll see more of it later. But anyway, he's like, I'm going to become a dragon. He is now a dragon. That is a problem. But Yuji had some armor made by that armor smith that makes monster armor, which was a good idea at the time that he did that, because now his monsters are going to be strong enough to fight. So Proud Wolf and one of the slimes has the armor, and they start destroying Walter's body, but he absorbs grace from other monsters, and he heals himself and gets bigger. But then he basically gets trapped in a fucking energy net, and they whoop his butt, which is good. We like that. and helps defeat him, and that's great. But then Walter dies, but Walter's just like, yeah, don't worry about it because of the revelation. It's going to start now. He dies, which triggers the machine, which absorbs his corpse, and the monsters, and also the guy that was assisting the priest, but turned out to be actually part of the cult. That dude gets absorbed too, which he was not prepared for. Anyway, they get absorbed, and then a one-eyed man shows up, and he's like, hey, I'm the sage. I'm the original sage, which is fucked up. Stell is then like, actually, that was the revelation. My revelation was the death of a teacher shall cause the emissary to be victorious. And he was like, I thought that meant that if I died, you would win. But apparently that meant if Walter died, then the original sage would show up. Who was the one that died fighting the original Blue Dragon. So now Yuji has to fight the original sage, who has a lot of music, a lot of magic. He's got a lot of magic, just like Yuji. Lots of good fighting in this at this point, because Yuji and his slimes can't beat the sage. And then the sage starts the salvation, which basically is like turning a bunch of the Rainmakers to rain grace on all the monsters, because now the monsters all over the world are going to be stronger and will be able to defeat humanity and destroy humanity, which obviously is a fucking problem. And that was episode 11, so I don't think that show has... I'm going to check right now. I don't think that show has 13 episodes, so I believe that this coming Monday, we'll wrap that shit up. Let me check. Let me go check Annie Chart there and see if this show if that was the last episode or not. Let's see here on Monday. Let me check my Isekai Life, episode 12 airing. Okay, that is episode 12 of 12. Okay, so the last episode of the show is on Monday. Which has been one of my favorite shows this season. So that's kind of a bummer, but also like, sure, all right. I've enjoyed it quite a bit, but I can understand why that is now. We're now hitting the end game on this one. Hopefully some good stuff. And also, like I said, I've said this before, I didn't say it today. No CGI in this one. This is all digital animation. So no just absolute bummers, in my opinion, of just like I understand you gotta cut corners here and there. You gotta get your animation done and all that, but I don't have to like it. All right, actually, looking at this now. Did I miss a piece? I did. I missed a piece. Luckily, I can do it. And that's all the anime. We got through that pretty quick. On the 20th, I will be doing my end of the month or end of the season recap and my preview. And that's coming a little earlier than normal, but this season there is going to be a bit of a gap between the September shows and the October shows. So the summer anime season into the fall anime season is actually like a bit of a gap, which is fine by me. That's usually a good time to catch up, but this summer has not been that good. We had a great winter anime season and a fantastic spring anime season. So I think it's kind of okay that the summer is a bit of a bummer. We don't want that all the time, but it's not the end of the world that it's not absolutely killer. I think that it is fine. But yeah, I'll be doing that on the Tuesday the 20th so that I can put it out the following Monday out for people. Because I have a new one on the 12th and I'll have a new one on the 26th. Yeah. So normally I would do that like later, but that would be too late in the season. I also want people to be geared up for the fall anime season because it's going to be real good. There's going to be a lot of good stuff coming in there. I said this at the beginning of this anime season. My shows to watch. A lot of my shows to watch were... oh, hey! Puppet Jarrett just raided with a party of 45. What's up, Raiders? Hello, everyone. Wow, what a large, lovely number. And a bunch of first-timers coming in. What's up, Raiders? Thank you so much for hanging out with Puppet Jarrett. Thanks for watching bad cartoons or good bad cartoons or bad cartoons, depending on what you were watching. Because sometimes they're incredibly wonderful, terrible cartoons, and other times they are just a waste of everyone's time. And thank you for the follow. Appreciate that, original DJ. I can't believe I'm talking to the original DJ Cup. But yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for the follow. They were bad this week. It was great. See, that's also a thing, right? Because sometimes good old Puppet Jared. Oh, thank you for Ponoke. Thank you for that. I'm going to hit the snooze here on ads. Apparently ads were about to play, and I don't want the people that just got rated to see ads or just rated. Asher, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. I should say about me. Hi, I'm Pat Bear. If you don't know what's up, I primarily build model kits. Lots of Gundam stuff. But on occasion, I build Lego. I'm currently building a very old Lego, the camper van. It's a Volkswagen camper van. It's based on a real thing. This is, when I got this kit, my mother said to me, because I live with my folks, because the world is tough. My mother said to me, I spent a weekend in one of those vans once. To which I said, cool, and asked no further questions. But yeah, we chat about anime and video games and wrestling and all kinds of stuff here. Very laid back, very chill. Things to know here. We can talk about anything, but we're trying to be respectful and awesome about that if we can, right? We're trying to be welcoming and cool about those things. This is entertainment, but it's not escapism. So we can talk about real subjects. You may have also seen, let's go back to the overhead. You might have also seen that in my title, I say no Queen talk. And that's not to say you can't discuss real world events, just the same way, we can talk about pop culture events and stuff. We can talk about those things. But I was trying to avoid the 20 minutes into my stream, somebody pops in and goes did you hear this happened? And it's yeah, we all heard it. We all know that a thing happened. Yes, Lord Christ. Yes, we could talk about, look, Queen rules and sure, we would talk about Queen. Keep Yourself Alive is an underrated banger. That is a fantastic. That is a song that got me to look up what a belladonna case was, because the way Freddie Mercury sings belladonna case, I was like, I gotta know what that means. I can't remember what it means, but I do remember the time being oh, okay. It wasn't that impressive, but at the time I was I gotta know what that means. Yes, Keep Yourself Alive. Okay, what's the better song, asked Asher. We Are the Champions are known by us. Hey, Puppet Jared just subscribed to Tier 1. Thank you so much, Jared. Say hi to Jake for me when you get a chance. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. We're going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote while I hit this button on my stream deck and we get some applause going. If you are a subscriber, you can throw those emotes there. Yes, as Jared says, it is September. And so I'm going to update that because I am now currently at 34 subscribers. My goal is 40. 40 subscribers means that, hey, guess what? I am probably going to get a payout that month, because sometimes it still doesn't work, but most of the time it does. So yeah, the goal is always 40, but we're at 34 right now, and we're early in the month, so it's okay. But yeah, it's September, so you can save money, which is nice. And the saving money comes out of Twitch's pocket, not my pocket. I don't get less because you subscribe during September. So that's cool. That would really suck if they forced you to lose money. If they were like, hey, here's a September thing. You get less money, but it costs your subscribers less. Be like, no. The TMT would be dying to pull a paint job on that Lego. Ooh, I could see turning this into modifying this into a turtle van. That's fun. So let's see. Another One Bites... I have to go back to Another One Bites the Dust or We Are the Champions. So here's the thing, right? We Are the Champions rules. It is, as we saw in the Mighty Ducks, it is a campfire song. It is a hockey song. It is a celebration. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. I've had my big wins. I'm not a sports person. I'm not a team sports person myself. I've never had that big like victory where everyone got together and sang We Are the Champions. I think I've only sang We Are the Champions in the car or ironically. But I can tell you this. I've sang Another One Bites the Dust at karaoke. That bass line fucking rules. The bass line in Another One Bites the Dust kicks so much ass. So I think I have to give it to Another One Bites the Dust as just being a song that whips ass, is fun. It's one of the only Queen songs that I can sing without being very embarrassed because there are not a lot of high notes. You have to sing words quickly. The breakdown, you can beat them, you can cheat them, you can treat them bad, you can leave them when they're down. You gotta hit that there's syncopation there. You really gotta go for it. I slowed it down because I'm not singing right now. But it is a Queen song that is approachable. Whereas a lot of, like, if you want to sing Somebody to Love, good luck to you. Because there are some high notes and some long holding of notes in Somebody to Love. Now, is that song beautiful? Of course it is. It's a gorgeous song. It's a lovely song. It is a lovely to sing, very sad song. But Another One Bites the Dust is just like, hey, guess what? I don't care. You're done? That was the plan. The plan was for you to be done and goodbye. And how did you think that... The thing about Another One Bites the Dust lyrically is that it's just like, hey, you fucked up. It's over. Why did you think there would be any other possibility other than you fucking up and it being over? Did you think that it was going to turn out differently? How foolish of you. And I can get behind that sentiment. Hey, Witchy, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that, Witchy Rich. Gotta say the full name. No problem. Can't sing Fat Bottom Girls out loud. So, Lord Crashton, you can do Fat Bottom Girls in a karaoke setting. You gotta be... Here's the thing. If it's bar karaoke, I don't know. Right? Bar karaoke, you got mixed company. You're not sure exactly who's there. You sometimes you want to play it safe there, right? Like, I don't know if I've told this on stream before, but there was a bar that I would go to. It was a karaoke bar, and it was all like in front of people. It wasn't a room karaoke joint, which I do like. I do like a room karaoke, but this wasn't that. This was you tip $1, you put your name, you hand the name to one of the bartenders. You get to go up and sing, right? And they go in order. And if they really know you, maybe you can skip the line. If they know who you are, you can like pull some shenanigans, get ahead of the line. Well, there was one bartender that worked there that I found out this accidentally. But I found out that this bartender put into the karaoke specifically because he loved the song and loved seeing people perform it, the English version of the Pokemon theme, like the English language Pokemon theme. And I sang that because if I selected that, if I wrote down the number and the name and put it forward, it would jump the queue. Not maybe like the next song, but like it would jump like a bunch of people ahead. Because that one bartender wanted to sing along to the Pokemon theme and knew that, like, he's bartending there. He's not going to go up and sing himself, but he wanted to sing along. And so that was a song that I got pretty good at singing in karaoke. That was not like my karaoke jam. It wasn't on my list, right? Like not everybody, but people that go to karaoke a lot have like their go-tos. They have the songs they're looking for that they're like, oh, if this place has this, like, I'm going to do it, right? Like, does it, it's like, oh, it has the cakes going the distance. I'm going to do Going the Distance. Like, hell yeah. Like, that's my jam. It's Raining Men. Well, me and my girlfriend are going to sing It's Raining Men because that's the song we sing together, right? Like, whatever. Everybody's got their their go-tos if you do karaoke, right? And so one of my go-tos became the Pokemon theme. And here's the thing that's very funny. Obviously, there's like the second verse, and people don't know the second verse. But a bunch of inebriated, enjoying themselves people in a bar know the lyrics to the chorus of the Pokemon theme, even if they didn't watch the show. They have, through osmosis, learned it, and they are often surprised to find out. That was the big thing I learned. I heard this from numerous strangers going, "I didn't know I knew the lyrics to that song." You did. You didn't know the second verse. You never heard the second verse, but you know the chorus to that, and you also have discovered by doing it. You have discovered in the moment that it is fun to yell that song. That is a karaoke, like, it's not in every karaoke place, but that became a go-to of mine. Like, that is something that I will look for in TV themes. I will look for that. I haven't done karaoke, and I've done karaoke on stream here. I've done some karaoke nights, but I haven't done karaoke just like hanging out in a very long time. I would do like anime convention karaoke sometimes, because that's fun, because you get people trying their best to sing songs in languages that are not their language, and and we respect that. We respect people giving it their all, going for it. And you would get like you get people like doing like chala, head chala, and you're like, yeah, all right. And then everybody's kind of like getting quiet before it's to get into the chorus, because they're like, I don't really know all the words to this. I thought I did. But yeah, you get a few things. People that are just like, hey, I kind of know this, or like, oh wow, this person knows all the words, all of the Japanese words to the theme from Evangelion. They know all of Cruel Angel's thesis. That's impressive and weird. Hey, the kid dressed like Yami Yugi is singing the Sailor Moon's English theme. That's a weird thing, but sure, go for it. This is the big thing about 90s anime conventions that I think people don't know about that weren't around for it. If you weren't going to conventions, anime conventions in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was a lot about the meeting people and hanging out. Obviously, cosplay was big then, and seeing all that. But there weren't like a lot of panels, right? There weren't like a million panels, because these conventions weren't pulling in industry veterans to these events. They just weren't. They just weren't able to get them, or didn't know how to do that, and didn't know how to make those connections. Now, some of the bigger places, right? New York, San Francisco, even LA, they could pull that shit, right? But like if Otakon one year that I went to it, which is in Baltimore, their big thing was they had the webcomic creators of Mega Tokyo were the biggest guests for that convention, because it was a celebration of anime, not so much anything else really. That was the big thing. So you would just do whatever you could to fill time at those conventions and fill the rooms, the whatever rooms you had. You would just, right, Ghost Val? That, yeah, blast from the past for some people. Other people, they're like, Pat, what's a webcomic? I am not going to explain webcomics. That is not happening. You will just have to do your own research about webcomics. They still exist right now. A lot of them are on. A lot of them exist, but if you want to get them better, faster, you support them on Patreon. But yeah, they still exist. I met the creator of 8-Bit Theater at Austin Anime Con. Lashbrook, of fucking course you did. Because that was like a guest you could get. And they were excited to have those guests. So there were a lot of rooms that would be like anime karaoke. Or they would just show anime. Oh, it was like in the 90s, you could buy VHS tapes. You're buying DVDs, maybe even like, you're getting whatever you can and you're buying whatever you can, right? You're just going for it. But one of the things that was really fun at the time. All right, I gotta figure out. Did I pull this? No. All right, I just grabbed an extra one of these. Okay. But yeah, you would just like have fan subs just playing on VCRs in hotel, like, you know, sections off of banquets and not panels. It'd just be like, yeah, here's the block where we're showing this. We're going to show movies. We're going to show like a live action, like 2 live action movies. We're going to show Battle Royale. And immediately after Battle Royale, we're going to show Attack the Gas Station, which is a South Korean like comedy, violent comedy. And those are going to feel very weird, but they're both live action, so we'll just put those back to back. Or here's a block of some, you know, like, do you want to watch some Robotech? Here's the Robotech block. It's a 9-hour block of Robotech in this one room. There are 4 people watching Robotech at 2:30 in the afternoon on a Saturday. You could just do that if you want. Battle Royale and the follow-up with the sequel. Yeah, this Lord Crashton, there wasn't a sequel at the time. So they just did a live-action block, which tonally was fucked up. It was a weird mistake. But it was very fun that it happened. I had so much fun at 90s conventions, just like dance parties, right? I don't get down that often, but like getting down with a bunch of cosplayers. I mean, that's still a thing that happens, right? There's still dance parties. There's still like some gaming rooms. You know, some company would be selling products, you know, and they would have like an arcade cabinet just hanging out, like, you know, and you're just like, oh, cool. I'm going to play the Sailor Moon fighting game on this arcade machine that's been hacked. So sure, that's what we're doing now. Because why wouldn't I? I bought a couple wooden swords at anime conventions in the 90s. My buddy bought nunchucks at one show. I remember in 1999 being in an elevator at a convention, and somebody was not at that convention. They were at a dentist convention. I think I've told this story, but whatever. I'm going to tell it because it's fun. They were at a dentist convention in the same building, and they were like, turns out we can go to the anime con with our badges. And I was like, oh, that's fun. And then one of these dudes leans over to me and goes, where do they sell swords? And I was like, I know exactly which store is selling swords. Like, you can't miss it. It's literally at the front of the expo hall. And I just love the idea that this dude, this man at a dental convention, possibly came back home with a sword. And that makes me just happy. Every once in a while, I just think about that person that was like, all right, this 18-year-old, it's probably, yeah, I was almost 19. This almost 19-year-old will probably know where I can buy a sword. Or at the very least, that man went and looked at swords. Maybe he didn't buy one, but he went and looked at it. He put some thought into it. He wondered if he had room in his carry-on for a sword, and it just makes me happy to think about that person. I hope they're all right. Had to figure out how to get through airport security. Yeah, I mean, if you... also, my friend that bought nunchucks one year didn't check his bag and didn't come home with nunchucks. Well, he got stopped in security, was not 18, and another friend of mine was like, actually, I'm going to go back out of security and check this bag. Can I take those nunchucks and put it in my bag that I'm going to go check? And again, this is 1999. If you're like, Pat, why is any of this happening? How can you leave security and go back to the check-in gate and check a bag? How would they not just confiscate that? They let my other friend, who was 19, take those nunchucks and one of his bags and check that bag, so those nunchucks went on the plane. And I believe somebody else put something else in there that they were like, oh, I should have put this on a checked bag. Because you would think we would have all put our stuff in one bag that was checked, but everyone was supposed to be responsible for their own things, and that was obviously a mistake. Your airports, Lord Crashton, airports used to be wild. You're not wrong. Hey, young people, here's a thing that existed. You know how you get off the plane and then you got to go to baggage claim, and at baggage claim, the people that might come to pick you up, they can just like they're waiting. They've been waiting there for a while, and they're just hanging out in baggage claim waiting for it to meet you. You used to be able to go to the gate to meet people. You could go through security and go to the gate and hang out and wait for someone. You'll see it in movies probably of people like getting off and there's a bunch of people that like came together to wait for them. You could just do that. You could just go and hang out at a gate. Like, if there was a food court in a mall or a restaurant in a mall that you liked, you could just, in the mall, in the airport, you could just go to that food court and just eat there if you wanted to. Or restaurant, if you did. If you just like liked their food. Is this lined up right? I gotta line this up right. Like this, I believe. Oh, oops. Shoot. Piece fell off. Hold on, everybody. No, that is on the wrong. That should go on here. Got it. Sorry. Fixing that. But yeah. Yes, you could just keep your shoes on. Yes, indeed. Airports were wild. That was not an exaggeration when I say that. They were just loosey goddamn goosey. Okay, so this needs to go here. I believe that's right. If I mess this up, I will fix it later. 2, 3, 4. 2. I think this is right, but again, if this isn't right, we can always fix it later. The nice thing about Lego is I got my brick separator. I can just undo my mistakes. If I fuck something up, I can just fix it, which is nice. But yeah, airports were wild. I guess this is how we'll end that conversation. Now's the part of the stream. I just want to ask y'all if you are playing any video games right now. If you've got games that you are like, oh yeah, I'm checking out this game. I've been playing this. On Tuesday on stream, I played on my bonus stream. We checked out I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, which is a narrative-focused RPG with some... the battle system is like card building and card collecting. And that is a weird game that I don't know if I liked. I enjoyed my time with it. I don't know if I would keep playing it in the future, but I did like what I played of it. I should also say I received a code for that game. I made it very clear on stream, but I did receive a code from Finchi, the publisher, because I am on their list. I don't receive a lot of codes, but I do like to make that known because since I don't receive a lot of codes, when I purchase a game, I don't go out and flat and say, like, I bought this game with my own money. I usually do it the other way. I missed a 1x3, so I have to go and find it in the bag. Friends that came in from Puppet Jared's stream, this is a used kit that I got from a friend of mine, and I had to sort everything, and I sorted everything by color into bags because I don't have enough room on my table for this very large Lego set because it is a 1,300 piece Lego set. So I am just doing it. I went through the book and pulled out all the pieces I would need for like a lot of steps, and I've been doing it like that. And eventually, I'll have enough pieces that I can just put everything out, and I won't have to worry about it. So if you're wondering how I've been able to just go, it's because I did it ahead of time. But yeah, I want to see in chat. What are you playing? What are you watching right now? I mean, obviously, as I said earlier in the night, I've been watching a lot of wrestling. Wrestling is very good right now. I think if you like AEW, there were some stumbles, and it's been weird, but it's been good. Excuse me. If you are a WWE person, I think it's been phenomenal lately. Like legitimately, it's been very good. Maybe just like too many old wrestlers that got let go recently have come back. Maybe like Braun Strowman didn't need to come back, but does fulfill a certain kind of way about him. I'm not like psyched about Braun Strowman coming back, but I'm not like, what is he doing? But like, it's been a pretty good time. Wrestling's been okay lately in general. I didn't do independent stuff. It's been great. New Japan has been fantastic. The Japanese audiences now are at a point where they can cheer. because they're still limited. They're still not doing full capacity in Japan, but they've recently released the thing. They could have audiences as long as that audience didn't make a lot of noise and transmit, like basically like spit into the air. But now they've lifted that, and Japanese crowds can make noise, and they can have, and the wrestlers are clearly emotionally just like fully appreciating this moment, and it is kind of a joy to watch. There was a show, I forget which show it was. It's a smaller show. They one of their wrestlers is in an idol group, and the idol group performed, and they did like a bunch of songs, and the crowd like cheered and sang along, and it felt weird, but like good weird. I don't know. It was nice. Let's see. Lord Crashington says, started the return of the Tomorrow Children and enjoying all the weird communist flavor of that game. Yeah, I haven't investigated that game fully, but I've heard good things. Ghost Valve is playing Deep Rock Galactic with their crew, playing a few single-player games, but kind of want to put some more time into new JoJo. So, if I remember correctly, that new JoJo is an old JoJo. It's a remake of an old JoJo. But I don't hate that idea. I do want to see some people play that. I should look for that on stream like tomorrow. See if people are streaming the new JoJo. Like, hopefully someone I know, but if not, someone I don't, somebody I don't know. I don't mind that. But I should investigate JoJo. It was a PS3 game. Great. Okay. Thank you, Lashbrook. And Lashbrook's been having a tough week, which I'm sorry to hear that, Lashbrook. I'm sorry you've been having a tough week. You've been playing Fortnite during this stream. It's the most you play. Well, I'm glad you're playing some Fortnite. I hope Fortnite's going well for you. I hope you're getting a lot of sick kills in Fortnite. And I hope this week improves for you, buddy. I'm sorry to hear that. I think those are the games that I've been playing. I mean, I've been enjoying that. Is there anything else? I've got a Dnd session on Saturday that I'm looking forward to. It's not the one-off group. It's my main group. We've had a few weeks off because one of our members got very busy at their job. They're no longer that busy. And of course, I went away, and that threw things off because I'm the one who's always available. I'm also the one who has like the most free schedule because I have my streams, but that's like the only thing that you really can't count me on is like, oh, I don't want to do it when I'm supposed to stream. I don't want to take stream off to, do D&D. But that's generally it. I'm going to sneeze. I sneezed very loudly. I did not hit the mute button. I should have, but I didn't. Instead, I just moved away from the microphone. Lashbrook has a vacation coming up for 9 days. That rules. And you're getting your booster Saturday. That's awesome. You can hit the Japanese bookstore after the booster. That's great. And then you can be woozy, possibly, in the bookstore. And make a bad purchase in the bookstore. You buy the wrong thing because you're feeling all woozy. Why did I buy this? Well, that's good to hear, Lashbrook. But yeah, I'm excited about my D&D session because I like my D&D crew. We have a group that got together that we play on Zoom, and we got together specifically with the understanding that this was not going to become an actual play. That we were never going to record any of it or do it as a podcast or do it as a live stream because our group isn't fully actors and comedians and streamers, but it's mostly that. We got a couple writers, but everyone has like improv or acting experience, and it's very actorly. But it was like on purpose decided, no, that's not what this is going to be. We're going to like just have a really good time and be everybody's like cool D&D session that they wish they could have, like, and crew. And that's been really fun. My one-off crew, I haven't been doing it. I missed the last like 3 one-offs. But for folks that are unaware of that are new to the streams, I do have a crew that does one-offs. We play like Lasers and Feelings or sometimes just doing like pre-made, pre-rolled characters in like Pathfinder stuff or maybe Fiasco. And the idea is that it's like a guild house where a bunch of adventurers are hanging out and all you need is a couple people and one of the many people who are sanctioned to be GMs in the group, and you just schedule a time where you can all hang out. And the idea is you're playing the same character and you're going on a one-off adventure with people, and like you can like make up stories, or you can interact with new characters you saw in the past, and you can reference things that that didn't actually happen, or just only talk about the adventures you've been on. And it's really fun if you like me were really like, now I have a group, but if you were missing that adventuring, that improv, that like storytelling, you need to get that out of your system. But you don't want to commit to, a couple years of playing with the same crew. You can just do the one-offs. And people have come and gone. We've invited new people to the Discord where we kind of set it all up. We've had people like drop and just be like, I've got a full-time game, I can't do this, or I'm never available. Hey, I just haven't. Or the soft like, I'm still in this Discord, I'll do this one day. You'll never do it, we know. And then we've invited new people when like it hasn't seemed like it's been working. And the thing I'm most proud of about this, because I helped found this group, is we've had some long-term D&D, like 5th edition D&D groups start up from people who didn't know each other, but vibed so well that they went out and did their own, like we've had enough people that are like, hey, I've got this other thing with one other person who's not in this crew. Do you want to join us? And they're like, oh yeah, I really like playing with you. And that makes me very proud. That's the producer in me being like, oh, some people had so much fun in the thing that I helped create that they're now like, they didn't know each other outside of this, and now they're like hanging out, or they follow each other on Twitter or whatever. Like, it just makes me happy. We're building the sink here. This, in my opinion, probably too tall sink. This sink feels very tall on this in this camper. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe it would have to be high up because you have to have the closet underneath. But we got the sink here, and of course it's got the doors, and these doors open up to the outside, which is neat. I'll show it off on this side too. We got a bunch done on this kit today, or the set, which I'm very happy about. But I think we're going to leave it off there, and then I will continue on this on Saturday. My next stream will be on Saturday. I would love it if you could come hang out on Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you to everybody that came and stayed on the raid. Staying on the raid is so nice. I really appreciate that you liked what you saw and decided you wanted to hang out. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Just like we got raided, we are going to go on a raid. We're going to find somebody doing something cool out there and go hang out with them. So I appreciate, I would appreciate it if you stuck around as we go and find somebody else doing neat stuff to go support them. Again, my next stream is 9 p.m. Eastern here from 9 to 11 on Saturday. So 2 nights from tonight, I will be returning to this kit and continuing this. We're almost done with instruction booklet 1 of 2. So we are getting there on this kit, or this set, I should say. And, Xandra, my lovely friend Xandra is, I believe it's Xandra Bot. Yes, that's right. My friend Xandra, who made all of my emotes, Xandra Rules. Xandra's Bot, as VTuber, Xandra as a VTuber, is playing a Super Mario World Kaizo run. And that sounds rad as hell. Xandra Rules. So we're going to go raid and watch this Kaizo Super Mario World run. So feel free to come and check that out. Let's get that raid started. And Xandra made all my modes and is just a lovely, wonderful person. And the Xandra Bot is a cute robot VTuber. And so some of you just came from another VTube thing. So I hope you come along in this raid. I hope you have a great night. I will see you on the next one. Thanks for everybody that stuck around. Thanks for everybody that dealt with my technical issues at the beginning of the stream. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.